Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. We begin this evening with the wrap-up of the diplomatic super week of ASEAN and G20 summits. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol returned home today as he finished his packed diplomatic schedule there. The summit diplomacy focused on reinforcing cooperation on security and trade while upping the nation's contributions on the global stage. Our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Eun-ji has key takeaways.
While taking part in the ASEAN and G20 summits, President Yoon Suk Yeol reiterated the key aspects of the strengthened cooperation between South Korea, the U.S., and Japan. Based on that, he focused on expanding cooperation with ASEAN countries. Wrapping up the week-long schedule, the presidential office explained that what was achieved during the overseas trip reflects what the three countries declared at the Camp David summit just a few weeks ago.
The principles and spirit of Camp David have provided a basis for agreements during summits on ASEAN and G20. Specifically speaking, the trilateral cooperation of Camp David aims to contribute to the Indo-Pacific region, especially in areas such as development, maritime security, and the growth of advanced digital technology.
As for relations with China, the president appears to have taken a two-track approach. While addressing North Korean issues during his summit with the Chinese Premier Li Chang in Jakarta, he pressured China to play a responsive role as a permanent member of the UN Security Council. But at the same time, he said he hopes these matters will not get in the way of their bilateral relations, and called for Beijing's support in hosting a trilateral summit with Japan in the near future. Meanwhile, the top office explained that during this past week, President Yoon met with the leaders of more than 20 countries, using the opportunity to drum up support for Busan's bid to host the World Expo in 2030. He made sure to let those leaders know that the Busan Expo will focus on solutions to crises the world faces today. President Yoon also laid out ways for his country to fulfill its responsible diplomacy, which included more funding for Ukraine. Speaking at the G20 summit, he pledged $2.3 billion to support recovery efforts in Ukraine. He said South Korea will provide a $300 million package in 2024 and a $2 billion mid to long-term support plan consisting of long-term low-interest loans starting from 2025.
This demonstrates Seoul's responsible role in leading the way to support the restoration of peace as a global pivotal state that contributes to freedom, peace and prosperity in the world, while also laying the foundation for full-scale participation in Ukraine's reconstruction in the future.
Lastly, the president also focused on deepening economic and security ties with Indonesia and India, which have emerged as prominent markets. While meeting his Indonesian counterpart Joko Widodo in Jakarta, the two leaders vowed to successfully complete the joint project, launched in 2015, to build an advanced supersonic fighter jet together by 2026. They also decided to sign an agreement on halal food products to serve as a basis for related exports from South Korea. During the summit with the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, the two sides agreed to expand cooperation in fields including energy and space. This comes after South Korea successfully launched its first homegrown space rocket Duri in May, and India made history by becoming the first country to land on the lunar South Pole region. Bae Eun-ji, Arirang News.